Alright, it's time. Let's talk about the crazy boss art you guys sent in, because some of this stuff is just insane. If you didn't know, we had a little art contest where you folks sent in concepts for a fake Silksong boss, and honestly, what we got was even better than I was expecting. Starting out at number 20, we have the Crafted Protector by Giacomo. This boss is an ant and always has her saw blade wielding pet Tick Tick with her. The art is really good, and the lore bit about losing your arm to a steel assassin is perfect setup for a side quest. Number 19 was submitted by Noah, and the concept of this boss is great. You would encounter the Songmaster as an NPC multiple times, and each meetup he would tell you about another instrument he has mastered. On the final meeting, he would invite you to a concert where you would hear the worst music known to bugkind. Upon you insulting his skills, a fight would ensue. This really feels like it could happen in-game. Great idea. Number 18 by Helpy has some great art, and the moveset was well detailed. But I can't help but notice you throwing shade at me in the bottom text there.
What are you doing, Helpy?
Number 17 is actually kind of crazy, like I thought it would make top 5 for sure. And this one is by none other than Puggy Tatoes on YouTube, who does some really fun content, so check it out. This old moth wanders aimlessly till they run into Hornet and a fight ensues. Karemo attacks with whip-like tentacles that can spew poison, and defeating them would earn Hornet a side quest reward as well as a relic to be sold for rosary beads. Number 16 is by Wizbroman, and holy wow, that character design is sweet! This boss has a complex moveset and would probably be fought mid to late game. The character is described as a more fleshed out Tiso, and would be an optional boss fight. Number 15 by Mau Mau has a really great design, and the mask reminds you of the revealed Huntress NPC. The Bell Assassin is part of the Bell cult and is sent out to stop Hornet from reaching the Citadel. The assassin fights with both a nail and daggers, as well as having the ability to cause a massive shockwave at low health. Next up we have a submission by Bug with Luscious Locks, which is a great name. This is the Foul Feaster. Defeating them would cause the Feaster to open up a shop in the area and sell items at a huge discount. If Hornet leaves the shop without purchasing, the Feaster becomes upset and kicks Hornet out. The shop owner / boss combination is inspired. Well done. Number 13 is from Narrowish, and this dude doesn't seem to have a name. Nonetheless, the artwork is really good. The boss is a vessel possessed by 2 parasites who attack with both melee strikes as well as dangerous mushroom spores. Upon defeat, the parasites decide to split ways. Number 12 is by Ramen Artist, and this one is another that surprised me. I thought top 10 for sure, but that just goes to show you how tight the competition was this time. Grek is the leader of a grass cult and wants to turn everything green. One of the coolest concepts in this submission is that beating Grek rewards you with the ability to summon his minions with a song, which would be a really cool way to incorporate the needle playing into an actual mechanic. Number 11 is the Puppet by Stalewater. It's a really simple design, but also extremely effective. The doll arms are creepy, and the way the thread is wound through the horns is just a great touch. Seems like it would be a fun duel fight like Hornet Protector or Lost Kin. Number 10 is by Christian S, and wow do I love this design. Icarus looks like serious business. After heavy injury, he lost one wing and was only able to repair the other with silken magic. The armor is just sick, and the lance-type weapon would make this a perfect rival battle for Hornet. The lore is very tragic, and overall I just love the ancient Greek-like aesthetic. Coming in at number 9, we have Juke Ampenaka by Snappa28, and this is just plain cool. A bunch of tiny bugs controlling the shell of a much larger bug and using it to hunt for food. Yeah. Hornet has a quest to find a missing child, which leads her to its lair, where she must face it to learn the truth. Although the lore entry hints at a sad fate for this Grand Hunt type quest. Also, the colors on this really work for me, I don't know. 8 is just stunning. Jingo Creates killed it with this design. First off, pistol shrimps are just badass anyways, so pair one with a mantis, and yeah, it's time for a party with this duo boss. They reside in the Coral Forest and complement each other's fighting styles quite nicely. Daxus is the mantis and is armed with a pair of boxing gloves that he uses with pride, while Keltra supports from range, firing deadly spurts of bubbles that stun enemies they hit. Great art, great boss concept. Number 7 is by the Oddhawk, and this character really looks like a sprite from the game. The boss uses a variety of unique attacks that utilize both flame from a lantern as well as spikes from his staff. The Unwound Outcast leads a bunch of followers that he freed from the strings controlling them. The boss is about a head taller than Hornet, which is pretty freaking tall. And finally, so close, yet so far, to the top 5, we have the Dragonfly Duo by Addersack. We haven't seen many flying bosses yet, but this boss uses that ability to its fullest. The way its moveset is described makes me think of a faster, more complex, more aggressive Gru's mother. The Dragonfly uses a variety of lunging and dive bombing attacks, as well as slamming its massive abdomen into the ground. We get a sense of the massive scale of this boss, and overall the art style really helps show off the speed and the motion of the bug. So now we reach the top 5. From here on out, prizes are on the table. At number 5, we have the Bone Serpent from Mr. Frosty. And wow, this might be the most detailed of the submissions. You can tell a ton of work went into this, and the moveset list is really comprehensive. This boss is located in Greymoor and can be seen stalking you in the background for quite some time before engaging you near the edge of the area. The Bone Serpent is like a much more detailed and varied version of that worm boss in many 2D games, like the ones from Metroid or Terraria. This boss has multiple attack angles and even has an enraged state. It can spew acid all over the arena and create shockwaves on its dive attacks. Once you beat it, the bone shards break apart and are absorbed into the ground. A rematch is hinted at where you would face the beast in its nest, and there would be a lot more acid involved. This one is well deserving of a top 5 spot for presentation and effort alone. A very well done boss design indeed. Flimgan takes the number 4 spot with the Elder Swamp Strider, another denizen of Greymoor. We are indeed lucky that Greymoor is supposedly the largest area Team Cherry has ever made, so it has plenty of room for all these different bosses. Flimgan does a great job incorporating the Grand Hunt quest system. You meet an NPC who tells you of a local village's troubles. In a Witcher-esque fashion, you go out and the NPC helps you bring the beast down from the air, but is injured in the process. You must then take on the Elder Swamp Strider boss. This seems like an early game boss, as its HP value is similar to Broody Malik. Its moveset is simple, but a nice range of both melee swipes and projectile attacks. Upon defeat, you get a shard refill, and the quest rewards are 100 rosary beads and the NPC's bola, which can bind 2 enemies together and hold them in place for a time. Presentation on this is nice, and it kind of looks like a journal entry or something. The boss design is an evolved version of those leaf enemies from the Xbox trailer. Really cool concept. At number 3, we have Thimble by Anon on the Discord. And again, this is another great rival battle type boss. Thimble wields it all attached to a soul-infused thread. He is crafty and not above using underhand tactics, and even has like a whack-a-mole phase. The character art is probably my favorite about this piece, and also the fact that the thread is magical, so probably wouldn't have to follow the normal laws of physics. Number 2 is one of my favorites and was submitted by eStar31. Madame Orchid reminds me of the Whispering Mother's boss from Grime, and the art style and color choice is so good. Orchid runs the bathhouse of Farloom. When Hornet is injured, the Madam takes her to the bathhouse and heals her up. When you resist, the boss fight occurs. Orchid attacks with vines, her mantis claws, and deadly toxins from flower buds that she constantly throws. The whole theme of this boss is really unique and definitely not something that you would find in Hallownest. Amazing art piece, and congrats on 2nd place. And finally, the winner of the Silksong Boss Fan Art Contest is none other than Trompy. They absolutely killed it with the design and art of the Immersed Machinist. Another Greymoor boss, this one is less of a hostile enemy fight and more of a test of skills. The Machinist will ask you to face him multiple times, and each encounter he will have an upgraded suit. He has a variety of weapons to choose from, including a sword and shield, hammers, and shears. Each weapon type is the telegraph of the move, so I assume on the later fights more weapons would be added and the moveset list would increase. Upon talking to him in his workshop after the last battle, you would be rewarded with both rosaries as well as a mask shard, and the Machinist would thank you for helping him perfect the mech suit. Trompy did a great job on all fronts. The art is detailed, the presentation is laid out well, the lore is interesting, and the moveset list is super comprehensive. Congrats on taking 1st place, Trompy, and thanks to all the artists who entered the competition. This was really fun. If you are in the top 5, I will either contact you through Discord or through the email you submitted with. If you didn't get the placement you wanted, don't worry. More art contests are planned, and not all are Silksong themed, so there will be more opportunities and more prizes. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, consider